X Games, Tony Hawk, bull riding, wingsuits. We're looking at some of the most extreme sports, and I'm gonna try and diagnose the injuries. Let's get started. Be safe. People.
On September 29th, 2016, Eric Dos Santos, a seasoned wingsuit pilot, embarked on what was supposed to be a routine flight through the French Alps.
Bro, if you're trying to act like a different species, nothing about that is routine. You are not a squirrel glider. Well, I don't know which animal does it, but you are not that. So it's not routine.
At the start of the video where Eric is about to take off, everything looks normal in an adventure that was anything but ordinary.
What is gonna happen? Is his suit gonna rip?
Just 51 seconds into the flight, the narrative took a heart-stopping twist. Eric lost his altitude rapidly and unexpectedly. In one moment, what should have been a routine flight almost became an obituary, as Eric begins to slow down, losing speed and altitude.
Why does he lose speed, though? I need an explanation for my wingsuit people. Comment down below.
The absolute worst happens. He collides with a treetop while still cruising at high speed.
I mean, I don't think that's the worst thing that could happen. It's definitely not one of the best things, but the worst thing is that like the suit just like rips off and he falls straight down.
His camera catches the terrifying moment just before impact, before going black. The fall left him with fractures in his left shoulder blade.
I was gonna say clavicular fractures for sure.
The top of his left shoulder, his left collarbone, and 3 ribs on his left side.
A lot of times you could develop a pneumothorax as a result of injuries like this. You can even develop a wrist drop where you have damage to the brachial plexus from all the fractures that are happening here, and therefore your hand becomes not usable.
He also had a bruised neck, a cut liver, head injuries, and several cuts on his head.
Cut liver is dangerous. Liver bleeds a lot. It can heal, but if you lose enough blood, it no longer can, so you need to get medical care quickly.
He even needed a hyperbaric chamber to aid his recovery from the head injuries.
Questionable. Definitely for some wound healing, we do this.
What do you think we can expect from Jake right now?
He's going for the 720 to a big 540.
Oh, this is extreme.
There's 720. Oh, he's gone!
I mean, how is that not gonna happen? Oh my God.
Oh man, that was the heaviest.
I'm at least glad he landed on his side first and kind of had some momentum moving forward, but he definitely bonked his head. And it's such like a thin, crappy helmet that they use. Not that a helmet really protects you from concussion. So like even the NFL helmet maybe reduces some trauma, but the concussion is about the bouncing of the brain inside.
You can actually pause it to where my chin almost hits down here.
Oh my God.
But there was no real pain involved.
Yeah, because you probably damaged all your fibers.
I was the first there. He wasn't breathing.
Oh my God, like I just ran, like me and Jason Ellis, just ran right towards him. And he was laying there on his
Like,
face.
he's dead.
God, these guys are so laid back. He's dead.
There's no way he could be standing up from that.
Having him walk off is stupid. Get him proper medical help, not Jason Ellis. I'm sorry, Jason Ellis.
He's fine now?
Yeah, he was fine that night. Go over and knock on the door. He opens the door. He's got a cigarette and a beer, playing the turntables. Dude. And I go, "Are you all right, dude? Like, what's the damage?" He goes, "I fractured my wrist, got lacerated lungs and kidney." And I'm like, "Lacerated lungs and kidney, and you're drinking and smoking?" And he goes, "Yeah, mate."
A lacerated lung, that's a problem because, you know, we've talked about on this channel that if you break a rib, it can puncture your lung. You could develop a pneumothorax where air starts leaking into your chest where it doesn't belong. It belongs inside the lung. And then the lung actually starts getting pressured and becomes smaller and smaller and smaller to where it can't fill up. Therefore, you become short of breath. You could actually lose your life. In a traumatic situation like that, you won't just have a pneumothorax, you also have blood. So it's a hemopneumothorax. And as your body is circulating blood, more and more blood enters the chest cavity, becomes very difficult for your lung to function. Therefore, your heart starts working harder. As your heart works harder, more blood enters that area, then pressure starts building on the heart. Oh my God, you need a chest tube, not a cigarette and a beer. God, this looks so scary.
Just a heads up, this may not be easy to watch.
It's not easy to watch already. God. Did he have his air knocked out of him? Solar plexus injury?
That was the hardest impact I've ever had. And at this point, I cannot make a sound. There's no airflow in or out. I've knocked the wind out of myself a number of times before, but this was different.
Are you just winded? Yeah. Grab your bike.
I almost passed out at this point, and I think it was because I couldn't exhale any carbon dioxide.
Yeah, or take in any oxygen. And it's probably concussive symptoms as well.
They ultrasounded me, did a CT scan. They put a tube in my right side to drain some fluids.
Yeah, that's probably from the pneumothorax, maybe a hemopneumothorax.
And when I got to the hospital, they confirmed, yes, there's 5 fractured ribs and a collapsed lung. And that explains the severe inability to breathe after the crash.
Yeah, it was probably not enough to just put a needle in there, maybe temporarily, but you actually have to put a chest tube in there to allow that area to heal.
I was in the Vancouver General Hospital for 3 days, and then I was able to go home.
Oh, the incentive spirometer, that's really important because when someone has rib fractures, they're not taking deep breaths and they start splinting. The bottom portions of the lung can literally die, so you need to rehab with that quite often.
Can you guys spot me? Cool.
Is this guy crazy? He's about to backflip off a 112-foot cliff in Vermont.
Where is the spot? Who is gonna spot you? They're gonna show you the spot of where, what is the spot?
Ryan gets a countdown from onlookers. He takes a few steps back.
And he has an ankle brace on. Not a very good one either. Like a lace-up cheap one.
Without hesitation, off the cliff. You can hear the thunderous splash as his body hits the water. Watch it from a different angle. The crowd cheers.
Easily break legs like that. Kind of went in a little bit too straight-legged for my liking.
When I hit the water at first, I was so elated that I thought I had landed this jump perfectly. It wasn't until I tried to stand up and watched my knee just completely buckle to the side.
At that height, you're basically hitting concrete. You have to go perfectly pointed in. Just not worth the risk.
When he slammed into the water, he tore every ligament and tendon in his right knee.
Every single one.
A lot of the challenge is that the ligaments are torn so badly, you can't just sew the ligaments back together. You have to use grafts.
Yeah, you could either use grafts from him, the morgue, from different species sometimes, and obviously depending on what part of the body we're talking about.
Ryan, what were you thinking?
It was just something I had really just obsessed over for the past 4 years.
I don't buy it. You obsessed about it for 4 years to show up in an ankle brace and said, hey, by the way, spot me down there. I feel like if you plan something for 4 years, you come in a little bit more structured. Parkour. Parkour. Drone parkour. Oh my God. Oh my God, why? Oh my God. The ischial tuberosities. I'm afraid for the ischial tuberosities and the coccyx. And the rapid extension. All right, let me do it slow. Oh no, it's actually much higher. It's probably a dislocated left shoulder, maybe a broken shoulder blade, broken ribs for sure.
He first landed on his feet, but straight away, his back was a bit arched.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's brachial plexus injuries there.
So he hit his back on the rail, and the whole ladder fell on his head and knocked him out.
I didn't even see the ladder hit him.
Nutti was out for maybe 2-3 seconds, so not for long. And right after that, he just yelled, yeah, I'm okay, I'm okay. And Axeli was just rushing up to him just to make sure everything was good. And we put a cotton bag on his head, just trying to put some pressure on the wound. And just asking if there's any pain, if he can move. And he was just saying, it's all good, it's all good.
It is not all good. Please don't listen to him in that moment. He is not being cognizant of what's actually happening.
At the hospital, first they cleaned the wound and put 5 stitches.
The wound is my smallest concern.
Did the CT scans, checked all the organs and everything. After a long 5 hours at the hospital, they said everything is fine.
Unbelievable!
Gave some medicine for the pain, and Nutti got the permission to go home.
I can't believe that. It must have been just the perfect timing that all the force landed on his feet, not actually onto his back. I guarantee you if you got an MRI, you would have seen a hairline fracture on his ribs.
The brakes were stowed. I went under riser.
Oh my God.
Didn't turn as fast as I needed to, and should have just said, okay, I'm just gonna land downwind.
Why do you need to jump off a building? This is so scary.
Tried to do a hook turn. Just series of follies and lack of experience on my part, which sucks because, it was a layup.
Oh my God, I'm gonna guess broken femur. Oh my God, that poor hip, the way he landed and bounced off the hip. And no one's there? He's just doing this for himself?
I landed and shattered my pelvis.
Yeah, that looks like a shattered pelvis, all right. The iliac crest took the blunt of that. I'm surprised the femur's not broken.
Broke sacrum, top to bottom.
Wow, the lower portion of the spine as well. So like that sacroiliac joint is really probably hanging on for dear life in that moment.
Ended up tearing my urethra, which was probably the worst.
So this is interesting. The urethra is the tube that exits the bladder that allows him to pee. This tube, depending on where it gets injured, you could have a posterior or anterior urethral injury. Usually I see, or we discuss anterior urethral injuries, but in this case, a posterior urethral injury is something like a broken pelvis that completely shifts and damages just that first portion that comes out of the bladder.
I've had dozens of concussions.
Tony Hawk, former guest on the podcast.
But only a few that were really bad.
All concussions are bad.
Where I woke up somewhere else.
You don't need to lose consciousness to have a concussion. Oh my God, Tony, my friend. My God, the bouncing of the brain in the soup in which it sits inside the skull. Oh. Yeah, whoever that was, that's a licensed medical professional. They said that's not good.
Can you hear me, Tony? Can you hear me?
Oh my God, he hit himself face first. And that's definitely a counter-coup injury where the brain not only damages the side it was hit, but also bounces back and hits the back of the skull and has damage on the opposite side as well.
You all right? I know, man.
Lay him flat, get him to a hospital. Stop talking to him.
Fractured my skull, broke my thumb, broke my pelvis.
Oh.
I sat in bed for about 6 weeks. And I thought, maybe this is it.
That's a reasonable thought after that injury.
Everyone kept asking me, how long can you skate? Maybe this is the answer. This is how long I can skate. I can skate till I'm 35 when I break my pelvis.
Breaking a pelvis, that's healable, but the concussions, I worry about those.
Matheson leaning forward.
Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no!
So far.
No!
Gets it back on the line now.
Front wheel doesn't touch down. Oh no, big problems for Chris Matheson. That's nasty.
Look, did his arm break? Maybe, probably. The fact that he's moving like this, as long as he doesn't hit a wall, I think he's gonna be fine.
Oh my goodness, off the bike and tumbling like a rag doll.
Again, the tumbling is a good sign. It looks dangerous, but that's a good sign, as long as he doesn't end up hitting something.
He's up on his knees.
Wow. That is a tough racer.
His left foot was broken, and he had a number of quite severe burns where his triple layer super heavy leathers touched the ground, as you could see by the puffs of smoke, shoulders, elbows, hips, and back. I mean, he had good safety equipment. And obviously, it depends the severity of his burns. You know, you have first, second, third degree burns. First, more minor. Third degree burns, it's going through the epidermis, the hypodermis, muscles, tendons, ligaments, the fat. You know, we have these diagrams that we use for children and adults that help us estimate how much of the body has been burned to decide the severity. Because when you have a burn, you're not just managing the burn in terms of pain, you're also managing the infection risk, the dehydration, because skin actually helps us keep our hydration. So there's a lot of things that can go wrong in the midst of a burn. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
And that was the last bull I ever got on. Yep, he turned back right in the gate to the right. I kind of got lazy around the corner, got set down. He whipped me out of there. When he did, he caught me with his hip. It pitched me up in the air, and I was trying to get turned over in the air, and I didn't get.
Oh, he landed on his neck. Now, it wasn't a hyperextension injury, so I'm not worried about his vertebral arteries, but man, you could really damage your spinal cord there.
At first, my first thought was, damn, thank God he didn't step on my legs. Because at the time, my left leg, my left foot, and my right ankle were broken. I pushed with my hands to get up, and as soon as I pushed, I felt it. I said, shit, I just broke my damn neck. There was a picnic table sitting there, and...
How is he walking off with a broken neck?
Paramedic guy goes, so what's going on? I said, I just broke my neck. And he went to freaking out. He goes, hush.
The paramedic is freaked out that a trauma happened when you're riding a giant bull with horns?
They said, well, we were gonna have to put you on the backboard. I said, for what? Would have put you on the stretcher. I said, sitting right there. Well, I mean, we can't, and I was like, I walked out of the arena. I'm pretty sure I could stand up, turn around, sit down on that stretcher. He's refusing the backboard. I was like, hell yes I am. Let's just get this shit over with. I didn't know how bad it was.
Yeah, that's really dangerous. Just do it. I mean, look, again, backboards are not necessary in every scenario. We probably overuse them from time to time. We could even develop pressure ulcers from them. But in a trauma like this with severe neck injury, get the backboard, get the C-collar. After 1,000 bulls rode and $7 million won, the legendary 36-year-old bull rider has been forced to retire due to an injury. His neck injury required the removal of a disc as well as placing a rod, plates, and screws. Not surprising for how terribly he felt, especially from that height.
Fun. That's what parasailing is supposed to be, a recreational sport that gently lofts you up 500 feet over the water.
Nothing is gentle and recreational about falling from the sky.
But for Sydney and Alexis, the serenity of flying like a bird suddenly turned terrifying.
How is she supposed to control where she goes?
Watch as the unthinkable happens just 13 minutes into their adventure.
It was really bad, like the feeling like of the wind. And then we broke away.
Oh, was she attached to a boat?
Terrible.
After winds suddenly gust, the 800-foot cable attaching the parasail to the boat suddenly snaps, flinging the girls headlong into this 13-story condominium building.
So much trauma can happen from that. Obviously, can't tell from this footage what was hit, but you're worried about the neck, you're worried about the head. Those are the vital structures. Broken bones heal, but neurologic structures, you don't get a lot of those.
Bouncing off the condo and over it, they careened into power lines.
Power lines? And they could have caught on fire.
And crashing down onto this parked SUV where paramedics and Sydney's father found them in critical condition.
She probably had a craniotomy.
Both teens were rushed to the hospital. Once there, doctors knew they only had moments to save Sydney's life.
She was probably bleeding internally inside her cranium. Remember, this is an enclosed space, so as blood keeps going into this area, pressure builds up, and the brain doesn't like pressure. It could damage the brain.
Sydney was hooked up to a ventilator, undergoing emergency brain surgery. Turns out the equipment used in parasailing is not required to be inspected by any government agency.
Wow, like, this is the most dangerous thing ever. Obviously, really happy that she got into surgery quickly because you want to release that pressure. Other things we do, mannitol, raising the head of the bed, which we saw actually her position, that decreases swelling. Sedating someone, that also decreases inflammation and swelling. Perhaps using steroids in certain scenarios. Oh man, I'm glad she had high-level care.
Both still suffer some brain damage, according to Good's lawyer. Sydney's friend Alexis now reads at a 3rd to 4th grade reading level, while Sydney at a 5th to 6th grade level. Both she and Alexis had titanium plates and screws inserted in their heads.
That's unbelievable. They probably had to do a tremendous amount of PT, OT, speech therapy. Shout out to all those specialties. We don't give them enough love. All my physical therapists, occupational therapists, speech language pathologists, you guys are the backbone of the rehab system.
Towing into his 3rd wave, Kobe catches an edge. He is sucked over the falls.
God, it's so scary. I mean, just the twisting of his neck in that position really does scare me because, you know, when people say I broke my neck, it's not so much the fracture of the neck that's the problem. It's the damage to the spinal cord that is being protected by the bones that are being fractured. So I'm hoping that's not happening here.
Then slammed head first into the reef. In a split second, his neck is broken.
God, that's awful. And depending on how high it is on the neck, the C5, C6 region, if you have a spinal cord injury there, that's life or death. If you have a severe enough break to the vertebrae, you could damage the spinal cord at a level where you just stop breathing.
Rescued by the jet ski, he lies motionless, fearing he may never walk again.
I'm not even a big fan of hardboards in every scenario, but this is a case where you need a hardboard. Oh my God.
Miraculously, his spinal cord wasn't severed.
Oh, that's amazing. Because even if you have a fracture, it might not be the end of the world. But if you have a fracture plus ligamentous injury, you could have slippage of those bones on each other. That could tear the spinal cord. You could just have so much inflammation that it puts pressure and damages the spinal cord. Oh man.
Whether he can ever return to lifeguarding is less certain.
Only time will tell that answer. It's oftentimes very difficult to go off imaging. You need to see how much progress they make with, again, shouting out my PTs, OTs.
If you imagine here the canal through the middle is the spinal canal, and that's what transmits the spinal cord.
God, look at the pressure and compression on the cord. How is he functional?
I'd really prefer if you held off a good 12 months from the time of the injury before you got back on a board.
Only 12 months? That's impressive.
It soon becomes clear doctor's orders have fallen on deaf ears.
He went back out?
I'm not stupid. I'm not going to injure myself in the process, but I guess you just do whatever your body can do.
Yeah, but if you were on a treadmill, I would say, okay, fine, because it's a controlled environment. The ocean is not controlled. I had a pretty bad car accident myself. Click here to check that out, as well as my very first Ferrari race. As always, stay happy and healthy.